Now that Amado is being interrogated for the third time for being the sussiest man on earth, and he's supposed to spill the tea on all the stuff he's been hiding, I think now is a good time to talk about Amado and Kawaki's extremely interesting connection. Before we start getting into the details here, no matter how much it seems like this is what I'm getting at, this video is not about Amado being Kawaki from the future. So don't click off the video because you think that's what the theory is. Instead, it's going to be something you probably never thought about being a possibility. So please watch the whole video, and then let me know in the comments section if you agree or disagree. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about some of the juicy stuff. I can't be the only person who's noticed this, but Amado and Kawaki look a lot alike. Let's start with the obvious part. There's only 3 characters in all of Naruto, that I can think of anyway, who have an undercut with shaved sides, those being Kawaki, Kawaki's dad, and Amado. All 3 of them have the same haircut, they just style it 3 different ways. Kawaki has his hair fall in front of his face, Kawaki's dad slicks it back, and Amado slicks it to the side. However, when Amado's hair falls in front of his face, like in this panel here, when Code is pinning Amado against the wall, it looks just like Kawaki's hair. Obviously, having the same haircut doesn't exactly mean everything, but I just want you to keep it in mind. They are intentionally doing that. Just like how Naruto, Minato, and Boruto all have spiky blonde hair. And how every male Nara clan member we've seen has black hair and a ponytail. The next thing I want to point out is less obvious and more important, and that's their eyes. They look exactly the same. I'm not talking about Ishiki's dojutsu here, I mean their regular eyes. Most characters in Naruto have different eye shapes and designs unless they are related, where we see how Minato, Naruto, Boruto, and Himawari all have similar blue eyes. The Hyuga and Utsuki all have those off-white Byakugan eyes. Sasuke, Itachi, and their mother Mikoto, and many Uchiha have the same black eyes and base, and obviously the Sharingan too. Shikamaru and Shikaku have similar eyes, and so on, you get the point. Amado and Kawaki also have the same eyes, and nobody else has eyes that look just like theirs except for Kawaki's dad, who also has similar looking eyes. Lastly, Kawaki and Amado have pretty similar facial structures, but Amado has a beard and is older looking. I mean, there's a reason why images like this one here exist and are created. Kishimoto, Kodachi, Ikimoto, and anybody else involved in the Boruto story at any point are clearly trying to make it obvious that Kawaki and Amado look a lot alike, and that's for a reason. Before going further though, I'm not a sussy baka like Amado, who's always being shady withholding information. So help support the channel, like the video if you're enjoying it so far, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications, that way you never miss future ones. Let's keep going though. In the Boruto anime, there was an episode showing Kawaki's past with his dad more extensively, and in one scene some suspicious people are trying to collect blood samples from people in the village, and they ask Kawaki for his blood. Then Kawaki runs away and bumps into some older kids who beat up Kawaki for sticking up for his drunken dad. Then the child trafficker wipes Kawaki's blood off his face with the tissue, and then Kawaki runs away and he follows him. And then Delta comes out and picks up that tissue with Kawaki's blood on the ground, and she smiles. It almost seemed like they were looking for Kawaki's blood for some reason, which could have been to test his DNA to see if he's compatible with Ishiki, or because they wanted to find Kawaki specifically. And it's interesting how they would know who Kawaki was based on his blood, unless somehow Amado had a reason to be able to figure that out. I won't spend too much time here since that could have also been to find compatible vessels for Ishiki in that village. But the next interesting thing is how Amado generally knows what Kawaki is feeling and how to push Kawaki's buttons in a certain direction. Just like he did with the Karma Seal, where he first asks if Kawaki's grieving over losing the Karma Seal. Then he talks about Naruto possibly dying versus Code, and how Kawaki would need more power to protect Naruto. And when Kawaki first turns down the Karma Seal offer, he says, "Come on, you know you subconsciously wanted." And most interestingly, when Kawaki says, "And you of all people know how much I absolutely loathe karma," in chapter 59, Amado responds by saying, "I do indeed, but I also know that you're rational and will use any means necessary to achieve your goals, just like me." So Amado literally tells Kawaki that he's just like Amado. Kinda interesting, isn't it? They look super similar. They were checking out Kawaki's blood sample. Amado tends to know exactly how Kawaki is feeling at times, and Amado says Kawaki is just like him. Obviously, they are portraying that Amado and Kawaki have a pretty clear, deeper connection going on. At this point, most of you are probably still feeling the Amado is Kawaki from the future vibes, but like I said, that's not today's topic. As while you can use an awful lot of evidence from today's video in my next video for that theory, I don't know for sure if Boruto as a series really wants time travel to be a main plot point in the story, or if they just want it to be a here and there special random thing like they did in the anime. Similarly, you could also theorize that Kawaki is a clone of Amado, but that brings into question how the heck Kawaki's dad never realized that, or never mentioned adopting Kawaki or anything like that. So that's partly why I lean towards what I'm going to reveal later in this video. So let's keep going further. We all know Amado has some ulterior motive behind restoring Kawaki's karma seal, and he basically openly admitted this several times. But the time I want to focus on in particular is in chapter 60, when Amado was talking to Sumire. Sumire had a feeling that Amado had ulterior motives with Kawaki, and she asked Amado what he plans to have Kawaki do once Amado restored Kawaki's karma seal, and Amado says, "I'm not trying to keep it under wraps, but it's a personal matter. I'll discuss it with Kawaki, but frankly, I'd rather not share it with you." And he reassures her that he has zero intention of doing Konoha wrong. Now, I made several videos about Amado's master plan in different aspects, and I have a video specifically explaining why I think Amado's plan is to bring his dead daughter back using Ishiki's wish-granting ability that Kawaki should gain access to. So that way, Kawaki can grant Amado his wish. And I'll leave that video in the end credits so you can watch it after you finish this video here. But the question that remained is, why on earth Kawaki would be willing to do that for Amado? And why Amado would even think that Kawaki would be willing to do that? Why would Kawaki care about Amado's dead daughter? Especially since Kawaki really doesn't like Amado very much for always being shady and restoring his karma seal behind his back and stuff. Well, haven't you guys noticed that we know nothing about Kawaki's mom? She's just not there in the Kawaki flashback. It's just Kawaki and his dad. Have any of you ever put any thought into who Kawaki's mom might be? Let's look at the timeline for a second. We know Kawaki is at least around Boruto's age, or maybe a year or so older than him. And Boruto is 13 right now and was 12 at the start of the series, meaning Kawaki is probably around 14 years old or so. Amado's daughter died 12 years ago, which means Kawaki was probably around 2 years old when Amado's daughter died. Kawaki's mom is nowhere to be found when Kawaki was around 6 years old and his dad sold him off to Jigen. So there's a pretty decent chance that Kawaki's mom is dead, as we don't really ever see divorces in Naruto. Granted, I wouldn't blame Kawaki's mom for divorcing Kawaki's dad based on what we saw from him. Anyway, Kawaki probably doesn't even remember his mom since she was gone when he was still so young, and so he never really got to know a mother's love, and his father figures were horrible until Naruto and Hinata took him in as Kawaki's new mom and dad. But Kawaki never really met his mother, who might have been a really nice woman and amazing mother if she had been around. And this is where we get into Amado's master plan that involves Kawaki doing something that's a private matter that Amado wants to discuss with Kawaki. Maybe Amado's dead daughter is Kawaki's dead mom, meaning Amado is actually Kawaki's grandfather, and that's why they look so much alike. It's totally normal to have a lot of similar traits to a grandparent. I literally get my height from my grandfather and his parents, more so than my own parents, who are a lot shorter than me. And we see how a young Tsunade has the same gambling problem as her grandfather Hashirama, and Tsunade's brother Nawaki wanted to be Hokage and protect the village, just like his grandfather Hashirama, and so on. It's not weird for Kawaki to look like his granddad, or to share personality traits with him. And that's also why Amado thinks that with a little convincing, Kawaki will be down for the plan to bring back Amado's daughter, since it's also Kawaki's mom who Kawaki might want to meet. And Amado probably knew what village Kawaki and his dad lived in because that's probably where his daughter used to live, and so he just needed the Kara members to figure out which kid was Kawaki by testing his blood, where Amado may have been able to tell which blood was Kawaki's because his DNA would be very similar to Amado's own DNA, or maybe he tested his blood when he was a kid, I don't know. And he probably knew Jigen could just buy Kawaki from his dad because Amado probably knew that Kawaki's dad was drunk now because it was his son-in-law, where maybe Kawaki's dad actually went downhill like that because his wife died, and the combination of that and the war just kinda drove him mad and made him lose his way. For whatever reason, Amado may have thought or known that Kawaki would be an ideal vessel for Ishiki, who could fulfill Amado's plan. This also doesn't require a time travel explanation of things, and all the little loopholes you have to fill with that, nor does it require some weird explanation of how Kawaki's dad ended up with a clone of Amado that happens to look a lot like Kawaki's dad, and he didn't realize it's not his own son or something. And it also explains why Amado wasn't able to perfectly predict all of Kawaki's actions, like him being so insanely devoted to Naruto, and even being willing to escape the village to offer his life to Code in exchange for leaving Naruto in the village alone. If Amado is just Kawaki's grandfather, he doesn't necessarily know everything Kawaki will do and feel. He's not Kawaki from the future in that case. Now obviously, this doesn't make Amado the world's greatest granddad here, but I think Amado is a father first and grandfather second if this pans out to be true. Now, a consequence to this theory also serves as further reasoning for why I really like this theory so much, and it also answers a common question people ask about Kawaki. And that's, what is Kawaki's last name? The answer might be Sanzu, just like Amado's last name, and it goes way deeper than you think, and that's actually going to be the topic of my next video. A deep dive into things you didn't know about Kawaki, and I think that will be a really cool discussion that you guys are going to love too. And I know a lot of people have the theory that Amado wants to end at the age of Shinobi, and that's what he's using Kawaki for, but honestly, I don't think that's what Amado's goal is. I do think he will accidentally, indirectly lead to Kawaki going down that path, but I don't think he's intentionally aiming for that result. I think he just wants to bring his daughter back, but in the process of doing so, he's gonna end up causing a lot of problems just like Danzo did, where Danzo just wanted to do what he thought was best for the Leaf Village, but in the process of doing so, he ended up causing a lot of problems for the Leaf Village in the long run, and I think it'll be a similar case here with Amado, but I'll touch on that a little bit more in my next video that I mentioned earlier. The very last thing I want to touch on are some counterpoints you might make against this theory. The main one for this video is the fact that Kawaki's dad also bears resemblance to Amado in the exact same ways that Kawaki does. Kawaki's dad has the same haircut going on, and he has the same eye design too. In this theory, Amado is supposed to be Kawaki's grandfather by being the father of Kawaki's mom, not by being the father of Kawaki's dad. So Kawaki's dad also looking like Amado might seem a little bit weird, but it's not too difficult to argue against it, because you could always argue and hypothesize that the Sanzu family might be like a lot of clans in Naruto, where distant family members in the clan will marry each other and have children. And so Kawaki's mom and dad might both be Sanzu, and that eye design might just be a common trait among their clan, similar to how Minato, Naruto, Boruto, and Himawari all have similar blue eyes, and the undercut with shaved sides hairstyle might be a common haircut among the men of the Sanzu clan, similar to how every single guy in the Nara clan we've seen has a ponytail. So this theory that Amado is Kawaki's grandfather has the best points in favor of it, and the hardest to argue against it out of the three main options I can think of. And it's also the coolest option in my opinion, which is why it's my favorite one, and why I hope it turns out to be true. And you'll see more reasons why I feel this way in my next video about Kawaki, so get super hyped for that video. But I want to hear what you guys think. After watching this video, do you think that Amado might be Kawaki's grandfather, and that Amado's plan might be to have Kawaki bring back Amado's dead daughter, who was also Kawaki's dead mom? If you disagree, do you think that Amado is actually Kawaki from the future instead? Or do you think they are not related at all? And would you guys also like me to make a video talking about Amado being Kawaki from the future, and giving both the reasons for and against this theory? Let me know in the comment section below. But that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!